Welcome to our I9 Sports Fall Program Team Parent and Coaches Training. We're excited to have you all on board as team volunteers this season to work alongside our I9 sports instructors on the field and court. We'd also like to extend the opportunity to any parents who haven't volunteered yet. We're still looking for some more team parents to work with the team roster, your child's roster, we should point out as well when you're out there on the field and court. This season, you'll work hand in hand with our I9 sports instructors on the field. But again, sit back and enjoy this presentation to learn more about being a volunteer this season.
Hey coaches, we're back. We're excited to take the fields and courts, but before we do, I had a few things I wanted to cover with you. First of all, thank you so much for volunteering this season. We appreciate you, and I want to make sure you're properly supported, so let me dive right in. First thing, we have a 10-to-1 ratio. We want to maintain that and make sure we're doing our part out there on the fields and courts. If you ever have questions or concerns, like always, our staff, site managers, we're there for you. Before we hit the fields, or right when we get to the fields or courts, make sure we're washing our hands beforehand. We'll have hand sanitizer available. I'd like to see coaches and players get one shot of that hand sanitizer before we start the day, and then at the conclusion of the day, everyone get a squirt as well. In between time slots, we're going to disinfect all the gear that you see out there. So if we're using any cones, just leave it out there. Our staff will take care of it. We'll spray it and get it disinfected for the next group coming in. In your packets, you're going to have your practice plans, your sportsmanship medals, the lessons. It's all in that manila envelope that you'll have for you. Make sure you go through all that. It's going to keep you on track. New this season, this is really cool. I wanted to invest and make sure that you guys have the tools to have the most successful practices. We have these brand new quarterback pro trainers. Use them, coaches. They have XYZ and the nice bucket shot. Get creative. The kids love them. We've tried it out in Albuquerque. We're bringing it out to California as well. Soccer agility poles for our soccer coaches. Every coach is going to have 4. Again, use them. If you're passing between gates or snaking through, just make sure you use them. The kids love those things. Very successful again in Albuquerque. That's why we're bringing it also to California. On the first day, coaches, we'll need you to show up a little bit early. Dan's going to send you out a email probably midweek and let you know when you need to show up for that. Basically 30 minutes beforehand, before your time slot. That's going to help us get all the coaches' bags and resources to you. And if you had any last second questions, our staff is there for you. Again, last thing I want to just drill home, state mandate, same thing in Albuquerque, same thing in California. No games, no scrimmages. We're going to do skills and drills, and we can get creative with that. So like football, we can have offense versus defense. We just can't march up the field. We can't, we're not keeping track of score, but we can run some plays against each other, but we have to stay to our groups. So let's do it right. And then hopefully, the restrictions will get light. And as soon as we're able to add in games, we're going to do that for you guys. Let's have a wonderful season. And again, if you need anything, we're here for you. Thank you.
In this presentation, we're going to go over some important information and details for you to know for the upcoming session. The first thing that we're going to go through is how to see your coaching information. You will do all of this at i9sports.com, where you can access the coach's dashboard, where you can see your schedule, roster, and how to contact your team. In the next slides, we'll go over how to do all of these and view these online. To access your team information, you're going to want to log in at i9sports.com and use the email address and password that you provided when you registered. If for some reason you're having any issues with that, you can go to i9sports.com and reset that information. But when you log in, you're going to want to go to the dashboard drop-down menu at the top of the page, where you'll be able to see member dashboard and coach dashboard. For you, you're going to want to access and click on the coach dashboard to see all your information. When you click on the coach's dashboard option, it will bring you to this screen where when you scroll down a little bit, you'll be able to see all of your team information. You'll see the ways that you can contact your team, view your schedule, view your roster, as well as many more things. This is where you can access everything you need for each week. When you click on the View Schedule option on the coach's dashboard, it'll pull up your team's schedule where you can see all of your information that you need to know going into each week. Here we have an example of a 2020 summer flag football schedule for team NE17C, the Eagles. Now, it's very important to know your team name, but also your team number and letter. Here, the NE17C is important to remember, as this will help you find your assigned field or court and where exactly you need to go when you arrive each weekend. Also, you can just see everything basically that you need to know, from the date, your arrival time, when things are going to start. When you look at your arrival time, it is very important to please be on time each and every day during the season, as we do need to get things kicked off right at the scheduled start time to get through our day. But you can see everything from which field you're going to be on to what color shirt your child will be wearing. So here's your schedule. This is just an example again, but your schedule will look just like this once they are released. Also on your dashboard, it gives you the option to see a list of your players, but also to click on your full team roster. And when you click on that, your roster will appear for the team that you're assigned for. For example, here we have the NE17C Eagles, and we have a list of our players, their parents, and the parents' contact information, phone number, and email address, as well as emergency contact and jersey size information. You can print this roster, and also you can send a message. We'll cover that here on the next couple slides, how to send a message. But if you click the send message function through the roster, it'll bring you to the exact way that you can send a message from the home page of the dashboard as well too. And just to show you too how to access your roster, on your dashboard in the top left corner here, you'll see where it shows the list of your players. Below your list of players on your dashboard, you click on the View Full Roster. That's how you can see that full roster that we just looked at on the previous slide. And then if you go back to the dashboard as well too, here down in the left corner, you'll see the image of the July 25th, 2020. It's got the upcoming information. You can also click to access and contact your team through there as well as clicking on the schedule or on your team roster. Those are a couple ways that you can send a message to your team. But the bigger image here on the right is the send messaging function, and it basically just sends just like a normal email. When you click contact your team, it's going to pull up a basic email draft where you can include a subject and the body of your paragraph. And really what you want to go over is you want to just remind people that what time they need to arrive. You want to ask who's going to be in and who's going to be out this week so you can have an accurate count. Remind parents to be making sure they're taking their kids' temperatures, making sure that their temperature is below 100.4. But also, too, it just is a good way to make sure you know who's going to be coming this week so you can prepare in advance. Now let's get into your role as a team volunteer this upcoming session. For the upcoming session, our I-9 staff will be heading up the fields and courts to work with you on drills and activities. Each day, the staff will verify that with you that all families have asserted a temperature check of below 100.4 for their child. Again, if there are any families who did forget to take their child's temperature, they may go up to our I-9 staff to get that done. They will also verify with you each week that you have your weekly practice plan and sportsmanship medals ready to go from your coach's packet. Remember, on the first day of the season, you'll receive all of this, so it's good to keep this in a safe spot. So how everything will work is our staff will be centered in the middle of the field or court area, and what they will do is demonstrate the drills and activities on the practice plan. As a team parent volunteer, what we ask you to do for your roster is to mirror the drills for your players. So again, our staff will be centered in the field. It'll be one or two staff on each field or court, and what they will do is, again, demonstrate the drills and activities on the practice plan. And what we ask of you as a team volunteer is to basically mirror and show the kids the example again. And after our staff show you, they will go from quadrant to quadrant or court to court to work with you and the kids as well too. Don't be afraid to ask our staff questions. They are there for you. As a team volunteer, you're not alone. Our staff are there to help you with whatever you need and any questions you may have. And some of you may feel comfortable just to do it yourself. So if you would like to just kind of coach the team yourself, please let us know. We must maintain those 6 feet of social distance at all time amongst your group during the drills. So make sure you remember to do that as well. Don't forget to also start the day by warming up and stretching. It's very important to emphasize to your team parents to be on time each week. Our staff will always remind them, and we will remind them each week in our weekly newsletter, but being on time is very important so they don't miss the team warm-up. Again, a friendly reminder to verify with your team parents each week if they've checked their child's temperature is below 100.4, and again, if they forgot to do so, our staff are available to take their temperature. Remember to keep your coach's packet in a safe spot all season long. Again, you'll get this on the first first day of the season. Here in the next slide coming up, we will also go over what's in your coach's packet, but remember to keep that in a safe spot. And again, for this upcoming session, all coaches and spectators must wear masks. Again, coaches and spectators must wear masks on the field or court with the players. We do have face shields available, but this is mandatory for the upcoming session to have coaches and spectators wear masks. Next, we're going to get into our field assignment and layout. This is where we're going to go back to looking at our team schedule. Now, those who have participated in our past few sessions are going to recognize this for the upcoming session, but this is where you're definitely going to want to know, for example, on this schedule here, the team number and letter, the NE17C, as this is going to help you find your specific field and court, especially on the field. It's going to help you find your field quadrant that you'll be on or which half of the court you'll be on. So on the next slide here, we're going to get into the importance of knowing this information for your specific field assignment. So to give you an example of how the field layout works, if you're on a soccer or flag football team, you're going to have an A, B, C, or D next to your team number and your team name. And let's just say, for example, you are on the team NE17 Eagles, and you are going to be on field 4. So what that means is you will report to field number 4, and you will see that your field is split up into 4 quadrants. You will see a cone and a sign with the letter C on it, and that is where you will report. You'll see other teams in each quadrant with that are doing the exact same thing you are. They might just have an A, B, or D next to their team number. And the same thing goes for soccer as well too. If your soccer number has A, B, C, or D on it and you're on field number 2, well, you'll report for field number 2 and you will look for your quadrant that has a sign with your either A, B, C, or D letter on it. And that is where you will report each and every week. If you have any questions, you can ask our staff at the I-9 tent area. They will be able to show you exactly where you need to go if you have any questions. And it's also pretty similar for basketball and volleyball, except you will have next to your team name and number either an A or a B, as your court will just be split into 2 halves. So let's just say, for example, you're the NE06 A Pistons and you're on court number 3. You'll report to court number 3 and look for your half of the court that has a sign with the letter A on it, and that is where you will report each and every week. And again, there will be 2 halves split with either A or B, and this will reflect which letter you have next to your team number and name. And for baseball, you will look for just the regular baseball fields that you will go to, as your field area stay the exact same, as well as cheerleading. You'll look for your specific field numbers that you're assigned to. And the reason that we follow these quadrant and split courts areas is to make sure that we follow the correct social distancing guidelines for all of our players and families.
Hey coaches and parent helpers, I am here to give you a preview of what your opening day packet looks like that you get when you show up at the field, that's going to help you through the rest of the weeks. All right, so I already have everything out of it, but this is the packet itself that everything will be in. First of all, you'll find a checklist that goes over week 1, opening day, from top to bottom, what that looks like. Putting on your coach's shirt, if you went through the background check process, it'll be in there. Reminding parents about checking their children's temperature if they hadn't before. We have a temperature thermometer at the table if you need it. Making sure kids have used hand sanitizer, handing out the shirts, etc. Okay, so you can follow this checklist from top to bottom to go through week 1. And then on the back, weeks 2 through 6, same thing, top to bottom. It has excellent directions on there. Also, you'll find a handbook for every single participant or family that you have on your team. Please give those out to each family, because in there is super important information such as picture days and COVID rules and our partners. We've got coupons, we have sideline behavior, we have our staff, we have concession pricing on the back there. You'll also find stickers that go onto your kiddos' shirts. You can put them here on the chest or right on the back where you can see them easily to help you remember everybody's name. Also, you will have a week 1 practice plan according to whichever sport that you are there for. This is just a sample of what a soccer one might look like. And on your field, you are going to have our staff running a practice, but this is following along with those practices. And if you're a veteran coach and you're comfortable doing socially distanced practices, then by all means, we can't wait to see what you bring to the table. The other things you're going to find in the packet is the entire season's worth of medals, if they're not Pee-wees, right? So 1 medal per participant that they can win according to the sportsmanship lesson for the week. So there's enough for the whole season, so you're not going to want to lose this packet. And then secondly, for the Pee-wees, there's enough stickers that each Pee-wee will get a sticker for their efforts towards your sportsmanship lesson each week. So there's enough packets for all of the weeks. All right, just remember, our staff is available to help you for anything you need at the sites. Thanks.
And that about wraps up our team, volunteer, and coaches training. We want to thank you for watching this presentation. And for those who are already signed up, thank you again for being volunteers. Again, it's important for everybody to remember that you will not be alone. Our I-9 staff are the head instructors out there on the field and court, and we're looking for you to work alongside with them, just coinciding right with each other as volunteer partners. If there's anybody who is interested in still volunteering for the Child's roster, you can do so at i9sports.com when you go to the coaches tab to complete the volunteer application and free background check. Again, we thank you for watching this presentation, and we can't wait to see you on the field and court. And if you have any questions, please let us know.